I forgot my badge. I'm a block captain. So, anyway, for those of you all who do not know me, I am Mary Frances Hanson. And anyway, we're just really excited that you all came out today because we're just really going to enjoy this program this morning. Unfortunately, Officer Joe Santos called me and he will not be here this morning. But he sends his best regards to you all, and he also said this weekend, because of the weather, please do not drive in this weather unless you just have to. And he also said because of the ice on the streets, on the sidewalks, please do not get out and walk because you don't want to take a fall. So those are words from Officer Joe Santos that he wanted me to give to you all. So I have to ask everybody, is everybody having a great day? Say yes. Yes. Well, we are blessed because we're all alive today and standing, okay? All right. Well, I'm going to introduce our speaker this morning, Raleigh Light. He has, wait, let me put my glasses on so I can see.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, y'all like my glasses? Okay, he has had 43 years in medical sales, mainly in high science laboratory testing. He has volunteered for the last 18 months. He's with CERT, Community Emergency Response Team, part of Box 725 Rehab. He's also with the Medical Reserve Corps. He's also with the Amateur Radio Emergency Service, ham radio. He's also a sky warm weather spotter. He volunteers in the police, with the police department, Little Elm Police Department, and he's with Box 625 Rehab, and he is a TSA volunteer decoy at the airport.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, he's the decoy to see if those canine dogs can pick up what's on him. Anyway, and then he's also one of our neighborhood captains, neighborhood watch captains. So put your hands together and let's welcome Raleigh Light.
I might read my voice from Siri, but I'll try anyway. So if you guys can't hear me, speak up. All the ones in the back are going to be tested, so if you don't move up front, that's your problem. There you go. This is kind of an interesting time because we have really crappy weather coming in a few days, and I was frantically adding a couple of slides on with ice storms and what have you on what to expect and what you should be prepared with. Bill and I both have CERT training, and we felt that this was a good time to discuss issues with what happens when the power goes out? What happens if you're in your car and you're away from home and you can't get home? You know, things you need, the absolute stuff that you need to have. A tornado hits, and you're hunkered down in your house, and the roof collapses, and you're in your safe room. What do you need to have with you? True. We're going to get to it. There's a little bit more than just water, but there's stuff that you need to have, that you need, and this is really more informative for you to think about. I'm not saying you have to have it. I'm just saying you need to think about it because you probably already have all this stuff. You just need to know where it's all at. Sometimes taking it and putting it in a box so you know that this is what I need to grab, get in the room, and we're good. With the ice storm, power goes out, what do? How do you stay warm? You know, how do you cook food, everything else? We're not going to get into cooking of food because I'm not going to go there. But these are the things that you should start thinking about. And that doesn't mean make a mad dash run to HEB or anybody else, Walmart or whatever you guys want to do. I'm just saying that you probably already have a lot of stuff. Just keep it in mind. You know, if you have batteries for your flashlights, is your cell phone charged up? You know, that kind of stuff. So we'll go through this. So because I have a lot to cover in a short amount of time, think about the questions you want to ask. We're going to have the questions at the end. I'm probably going to answer all of them. Okay, So I had started going through and going, yeah, I would ask that. So let's just get started here. So, and I'll give you the references for these presentations and what have you at the end. But these were from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and Urban Area Security. Okay, so this is not stuff I made up. This is stuff that's actually published. A lot of it's from FEMA, DHS, and there's several other areas that you can get in. Okay.
Oh, you lost your mind.
Stop. Hello. Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody didn't charge up the batteries. Okay. So there are skilled and caring emergency professionals throughout North and Central Texas ready to help when the disaster strikes. But you are your own best protection. This helps guide, teach you how to think, prepare, act, and protect your personal safety and safety of those around you. So I want you guys to understand that.
Here, give me the other one that's in there.
Okay. I'll just speak up.
You have to keep it under your chin.
I did, but it
Okay, it's the other side.
keeps jumping in and out. Okay, that's fine.
Here.
Okay, understand that we have emergency medical personnel, we have police, we have fire, emergency response, but you're not the only one. And they're gonna think, take a few extra steps, and you'll be probably in really good shape. We're talking about severe weather. All right, there's 100,058 severe thunderstorms, large hail, damaging winds for those who had to replace roofs, 68 flash floods, 12 tornadoes, less than one hurricane in this area this year. Okay, a lot of this information that I'm coming up with is on a yearly basis. So just so that you guys are aware of it, we get more tornadoes in this area than anywhere else in the United States. Okay, lightning. Don't stand outside with an umbrella when there's a thunderstorm. Okay, pretty much sturdy buildings, stay inside. Thunderstorms are scary because of the noise, but they can cause a lot of damage. Usually with thunderstorms, you get hail, high winds, 60 miles an hour plus. They'll rip a roof off, they'll tear up your backyard. When we did damage assessment out in Sanger here a couple months back, every screen in that entire town was destroyed. It was shredded. Okay. We had mudslides that wiped out the bottom of an apartment building. Half of the Walmart distribution center was crushed. There's a lot of damage, and all that happened within about 30 minutes. Okay, they move fast, and Bill can attest to this. I stay up at nights when the thunderstorms are on with my ham radio, and I'm listening to Skywarn, and I'm passing immediate information back and forth to him. Hopefully, you're sending it out to whoever needs to be sent out to. But I know exactly where the tornadoes are. I know exactly how fast they're moving, in what direction, and who's going to get hit in 5 minutes, who's going to get hit in 3 minutes. All of this is information that I get through the websites that I use. Okay? Stay in a sturdy shelter. Does everybody know where their safe rooms are in their homes? Okay. Is it on the outside of the building? Okay. Is it near a window? Okay. Where's the best place to hang out in your house when you get warm?
Laundry room.
Laundry room?
Pantry.
Bathroom, right. Ours are connected, depends on your home, okay? Some of you guys have pantries in the center of your house. Great place, because you don't have any outside walls, you don't have any windows, and usually the structure is a lot stronger in that area.
And there's food.
And there's food. And water, yes.
What about the front closet that's in the middle of the house?
If your closet's big enough for you to fit in and you're not claustrophobic, I'd say go for it, if that's all you have. Okay? You make do with what you want. Some of you guys, I don't think anybody here actually has storm shelters bolted into their garages.
There's one.
Okay, so there is one here. I get real claustrophobic really fast. Some of those things kind of freak me out, and we're going to have a little discussion about that when we start going through some of the bags. Okay? Stay away from water, stay away from boats, stay home. If you're in your car, stop, don't hide underneath the overpass. If you're outside, you get as low as you can in the ground. Okay? You lay flat. You do not want to get hit by lightning. Okay? You don't stand up, you don't go underneath an overpass, which becomes a venturi, and the winds blow faster through there, plus everybody's pulling in there. There's wrecks, there's fumes, everything. Not a good thing. If you suspect a thunderstorm, go home. Okay? Get off the roads. Best place to be. Okay, floods. Bill and I were discussing this. Who here knows what the two main problems we have here in North Texas, the most dangerous of all of them? And
People go through it, they wanna ride through the water.
oh yeah. Tornadoes.
Turn around and don't drown.
There you go. Tornadoes, floods, lightning, hail, pretty much all of them are there. But floods, because even though it doesn't flood right here, you don't have to go too far to find out that a road has been washed out. If you go out this direction on 1385, that road always gets washed out. Okay? If you can't see the asphalt underneath your tires or the concrete, it ain't there. That means do not go into the water. Best thing to do is turn around and get out of there. Okay? And water moves really fast. The water's up to your ankles, it's enough to sweep you off and down you go. Okay? Flood safety. Get out of the areas subject to flooding like dips, low spots, canyons, and washes. Avoid already flooded and high velocity flows. Don't attempt to cross. Hopefully everybody listens to the radio, watches the news. They're really good about telling, I mean, I watch ABC, but they're really good about showing you where all these problems are at. In your neighborhoods, stay away from that area. If your vehicle stalls, leave it immediately and seek higher ground. Caveat is if the water's coming up and you're going to drown getting out of your car, if you can get out through the window and get up on top of your car, don't try to swim for it. Because I'm going to guarantee you about 90% of the time you won't make it. Okay? At night it's really hard. You know, as we start getting older and my eyes start getting worse, driving at night is not always the best thing. And if it's really raining hard, pull over, wait for the rain to pass. Here in Texas, it moves so fast through here that, you know, in 15, 20 minutes, just wait, the weather will change. Don't camp or park your vehicle along streams, washes. I'm not even going to go there, okay? People will pull up in the middle of a dry riverbed and decide they want to take their motorhome out there, and next thing you know, it's floating down the river. Don't do it. Most common for our area, fire, okay? Your house catches on fire, neighbor's house catches on fire, this bog down here catches on fire and the embers start coming up, okay? Do evacuate to a safe area, call 911 and give your address, location of the fire and anyone that's injured. This is all very important. Stay out of the way of the firefighters. Don't grab your go bag, or do grab your go bag on the way out. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Don't try to put the fire out larger than a pan on a stove. Don't go back in the house for any reason. Don't hang up on the 911 operator because they're going to ask you questions that are really important. Hail. Who here has not experienced the hailstorms here? I've been here for 4 years and I've experienced about 20 of them. Okay? And I've seen a lot of new roofs on. They're primed for storms. Moving cars, boats, RVs, lawn, patio furniture, move them inside. During the storm, seek shelter, especially with hail, thunderstorms. You will usually, because a tornado can spool up at that time. So that's when you probably need to start thinking about getting your stuff together. So if you have to go inside, you can't. All your phones should light up when there's a tornado announcement. If they don't, talk to somebody around you on how to set that up on your phone, because your phones will go, our phones go off, and it's like we're immediately in the room. Okay? Surfaces outside, they become slick, especially when we haven't had rain in a while and the oil builds up. Just be careful. Go back inside. If you're driving in a hailstorm, find a safe place to pull over. Turn your car so the hail is hitting the windshield. The safety glass will protect you in the front. Your side glass is not safety. Okay, it's not safety glass. It's really easy to break. Your back window is not safety glass either. That's why a lot of people get their back windows broken out. Tornadoes, we just had that discussion. In a home or building, move to a pre-designated shelter such as a basement, or move to an interior room or hallway on the lowest floor and get under a sturdy piece. Okay, so I crossed out basement. If you have a storm shelter, and in some of the outlying smaller little towns, you'll see people that have their separate storm shelter, you know, tornado shelter. That's what they mean by that, okay? Because you can get in and out of that. If you're in your house, be prepared, because if you don't have a radio or some way to communicate, if your house collapses, You might not be able to get out of that basement, okay? That's where a pry bar, whistles, cell phone, radios, whatever you have, that's why it's really important to have that kind of stuff. A safe room in our HOA is in the laundry room or pantry without windows and no wall connected to the outside. We have a tornado shelter in the men's bathroom, okay? Stay away from the shower door because it's glass. But but the women's is not, the men's is, okay? Stay away from the windows, have your go bag with you. Don't try to outrun a tornado, you will not. I did that one time and it scared the ever-loving bejesus out of me, okay? Because I almost got picked up in it. Leave it immediately, seek shelter. Mobile homes should always be abandoned. If no shelter is available, get out of the vehicles, find the most low-lying area, ditch, ravine, lay flat on your stomach and cover your head with your hands, okay? Now, let's get into extreme heat. Since we've got summer coming up, heat exhaustion, heat stroke is really big here in Texas. I understand that you need to stay out of the sun, use sunscreen. I usually use 50 or higher. Stay hydrated. The minimum you should be drinking a half gallon of water a day, up to a gallon of water a day. Sounds like a lot. We're not talking about coffee and tea because those are diuretics, and whatever you put in, you need to double it up going in, okay? Insulate. Install window air conditioners thoroughly. Check air conditioner ducts for proper insulation, weather stripping doors, all the stuff that we already talk about all the time. Luckily, our homes are relatively new. They're not as windy as some of the older homes. Just be aware that you need to stay as cool as you can. Believe it or not, long sleeve white shirts in the sun is better than short sleeves outside, okay? Not black, okay? Okay. So let's talk about that heat. Has anybody experienced heat exposure, heat stroke? You have. What actually happened?
I was in Egypt and it was like 120 degrees and we were looking at a Abu symbol and I immediately knew I needed to get into air conditioning, so they golf carted me to the visitor center
Right.
and gave me a whole bunch of water.
Oh yeah.
It was tough.
But you came out of it, right?
Yeah,
So you got it before it got into a heat stroke situation. You feel a little delirious, kind of, yeah.
most definitely.
Yeah, a lot of times you just all of a sudden it hits you and then you don't know where you're at, and a lot of times you pass out. What happened to you?
Got my own heating and air conditioning. I worked in attics all my life, so I was.
That's a really good place to find a dead body, isn't it? Yeah.
Interesting statistic on that. A couple of years ago, there were, I forget how many people, 4 or 5, that were taken to the hospital because of heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Every one of them had a helper up there in the attic.
Oh, wow.
Well,
They weren't paying attention.
and a lot of screaming and yelling. Okay. So it does happen, and it happens to us when we don't expect it. Just understand these things that happen are all preventable. But you have to be aware of your surroundings. Always know where you're at. Always have some way to communicate out. That kind of stuff. Okay. So the local hazards. Read them. There's a lot of them. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but all this stuff is a problem. Okay. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Hopefully you guys have carbon monoxide monitors in your house. They need to be replaced every 5 years. Okay. If they need them or not, still replace them. They're not expensive. Chemicals, probably a good thing. Workplace, school shootings. Not as much here in Texas as it is. All these are a different story, and we won't go. I'm not going to get into politics. So I'm not discussing any of that stuff with you guys because I work over at Little Elementary, and I know what they do. So, okay. Stay aware of your surroundings on hazardous materials. Use your senses to help you decide how to act. Do you see a gas cloud? Smell a sharp odor? Hear an explosion? This is where we don't have the railroad tracks like they do in the north, where they have train derailments. Okay, you got all of a sudden you have a toxic ammonia cloud coming over. Okay, be aware of it when you're out and around. See something, say something. I mean, we hear this over and over and over again, and it does. I mean, if you see something that's not right, just report it. Let them sort it out, but just report it. You're the eyes and ears of the police and the fire department and everybody else. Okay, terrorism. how do I approach this? Terrorism around the world is different. A lot of us travel to different countries. The best thing to do is stay away from where there's cameras. That's where the problems are going to be at. If you see press, get away from there. That's where the problems are going to be at. All you can be is be aware of people leaving bags where they don't belong. People that have what they call a 1,000-yard stare, and you will know what that looks like when you see somebody. These are the people you have. They're wearing heavy coats in the middle of summer. They're sweating a lot. They're very nervous and anxious. At TSA, this is what they're looking for. There's other things that they look for too, but just be aware of your surroundings. And if you're in large populated areas, crowds, those are really good targets. You know, people run cars through blocks and what have you. All I can say is that always know how to get out of there quick. You can ask my wife, when we go to a restaurant, I always sit with my back to the wall. I always see the front door. The first thing is, where's the exit? Okay? I've been doing that all my life. I used to live overseas, so in the Middle East and Southeast Asia, so I got really used to that. In case of a nuclear attack, 3 best tools are time, distance, and shielding. Okay? Hiding underneath a desk, as we did back in the 60s and 70s, pretty much is, this is a tough time. Okay. Mass violence, same thing as with terrorism. Okay. Stay away from crowds. Okay. Just be aware of your surroundings, and if people are there chanting and holding up signs, as much as we want to get involved, don't. Okay. Get away. I don't even want to go there. Okay. We're going to stay away from the whole COVID thing. Prepare. A little preparation can make all the difference. Okay. Get ready. Emergency supply kit. Create a communications plan. That's with your neighbors, your family, and anybody else that needs to know how you're doing, where you're at. Neighbors are really important. The one thing I like about Texas is most of us know who our neighbors are. You might not like them, but you know who they are. Okay? Build those relationships. It's important. We check upon our neighbors all the time just to make sure they're still alive and moving around, and we let them know when we're out of town if there's something going on. But it's very good. We have family here, but they live over in Frisco, and your response is a lot faster from a neighbor. Caring for those with functional needs, planning for your pets. If you have pets, register for local alerts. You can go to Little Elm Emergency Services. You can go to Denton County Emergency Services. You'll get emails or texts. You can have them set up either way that will tell you exactly what to expect. Look, I got 4 of them this morning. I get them from Red Cross. I get them from everywhere. Okay. Purchase a NOAA all-hazard radio. Bill has one back there that's a wind-up, which is always a great thing to have in case the batteries fail. That way, at least you'll pick up the weather channels and you'll know what's actually happening. And it's usually your location. Okay. You need water, food. You need a can opener. Don't forget a can opener. Not everything has pop tops. Flashlights and extra batteries. Okay. Most of mine, I have some battery operated ones. I have ones that I plug in. Make sure they're all charged up. First aid kit. It can be as little as bandages, but it can go all the way up to the big ones that I carry. A whistle. Whistle, like it or not, are really important. The louder, the better. Okay. Standard ones work. I mean, it means something. If anything, get a couple of them. One that you can grab and one that you can leave in your safe room. Okay. Dust masks. Nobody wants to breathe all the crap. Luckily, these houses don't have asbestos in them. Some of the older buildings do. Plastic sheeting, duct tape, shelter in place. That's for biologicals and chemicals. That means getting up on ladders, trying to tape everything down. It's a great idea. It rarely ever works. Radios, battery operated. The NOAA radio, the weather radio also has regular channels on it. Okay. Personal sanitation. People don't realize they forget about the toilet paper. How do I go to the bathroom? What do I do with it once I've gone to the bathroom? How do I wash my hands? Regular soap is good when your hands are dirty. When you just need to make sure you don't have anything on them, that's what hand sanitizer works for. You don't need soap and water all the time. Okay. Wrench or pliers. Bill has his fancy one. This is the one that I use, and they're aluminum, they're cast aluminum. They're very light, but they turn your water off, they turn off your gas, and you use it as a pry bar, and you can break windows with it, okay? You get these things at Home Depot, Amazon, everything. Bill's got a real big, fancy, heavy one, but does anybody here know how to turn the water off in their house? Anybody doesn't know how to turn off their water in their house? Inside your garage, there's a little door. You open it up, pull it down. Okay. Anybody here know how to turn off their gas? Anybody doesn't know how to turn off their gas? On the meter, below the meter, there's a pipe that goes in the ground that has a key, a little wedge. That fits over this, and you crank it down clockwise. That turns it off, okay? Water you can turn back on yourself. Once you turn off your gas, you have to have a gas company come out there and turn it back on. Because there's a lot of things they need to check for, because it's all under pressure, okay? Local maps. How many people actually know what a Thomas guide is? Or a folding map? I think all of us know what they are. How many of us actually have one? How many don't have one? Okay. Don't plan on your phone working, okay? And most of the time Google Maps is wrong anyway. Get maps of your local area, street maps. If you belong to AAA, you can get them. You can download them off the internet. I get Thomas guides every 3 years. They update them for the whole United States, and they're very comprehensive. But get some standard maps. Okay. If you don't know how to read them, I'll be more than happy to show you how to read them. Cash. Okay. ATMs don't work when the power's out. Okay. People don't take credit cards when the power's out. There's a lot of people won't take checks because all those are IOUs. So cash, small increments. Don't come up with a wad of $100 bills. 5s, 10s, 15s, or 5, 10s, 20s, and 1s, and forget about the change, since pennies are gone. Okay, so these next 3 slides, I actually have, these are handouts. I didn't put them out there, I don't want a bunch of people grabbing them. But I'll leave them back here. I have 30 of them. If you don't need them, or if there's 2 people in a family, don't take more than 1. But there's copies on here. These are a list of things you should have, okay? So this is what we call a get home bag or get out of town bag, whatever you want. It's a 72-hour bag. Should keep one person supplied with what they need over a 72-hour period. It's 3 days, okay? A lot of us, like Bill has his trunk. Because of what I do, I have 3 trunks, but that's for me and my wife. I have 2 of these for me. I have 2 for my wife. They're duplicates. These go with me anytime we travel out of town. That bag goes with me along with another one. But I carry a lot of things because I do other things too. So you need a storage container that are marked, or backpacks. If you can't handle a backpack, storage containers, get a little cart, whatever you need to do if you need to move them around. Most of the time, this stuff's going to stay in your house. Backpacks are great if you're going to throw them in your car. Okay, you need 1 to 2 gallons of water per person per day. And you need to rotate that every 6 months. Okay. 1 is the minimum you need. This is for drinking, cooking, cleaning, everything. 2 is better, okay? Food. This is when we were talking about having something. Bill, you have your
4 Patriot.
Yeah, but he has these little block bars. I have them too. They taste like crap, but they're 2,000 calories each, which is what your body. Remember, we're not talking about protein and carbs, and that's absolutely not on the table right now. Getting you the energy you need to proceed, okay? You can get canned foods. Make sure you don't forget the can opener, okay? And get what you will eat. Don't get stuff you won't eat, okay? Bags of stuff that need water to cook. It takes more water, just be aware of that. You need to have 3 to 5 days supply of if you're taking specific medications, make sure you have 3 to 5 days worth of your medications with you, okay? A first aid kit, cell phone charger, or a power bank. This happens to be my power bank. And I can charge my laptop, everything is attached. So I can charge my laptop, my phone, everything. This laptop will charge 5 times with this, okay? Gloves, leather and rubber, okay? Leather gloves, if you have to move stuff, rubber gloves won't last. Rubber, they can be nitrile, vinyl, whatever you want to use. Dust masks, N95s are fine. Just remember, every 20 minutes you need to take them off and breathe, because your oxygen saturation will drop because you don't get as much oxygen flow through those. A knife, make sure it's sharp. It could be a folding knife, a pocket knife, it could be there's some that fold out to be pliers, those types of things, but you need to have a good sharp knife. Wrenches, turn off the gas and water. I keep a crowbar in case I have to pry open a door that's jammed shut. List of your contacts and phone numbers sealed or laminated. Okay? So if they find your body, they need to be able to identify who you are and who to contact. If you're injured and unconscious, they need to know who to contact, that kind of stuff. Store a picture of your driver's license, your passport, along with house or car insurance contracts on your phone, if you can, or have them with you. Any mobility devices for activities of daily living, canes, crutches, walkers, anything like that, make sure that you have that with you. Okay? If you have pets, you need to make sure you have your pet food, your water, medication, etc., and toilet paper. These are important items. These are the items you really need to have. Okay? Semi-important. Notice water's always at the top. More water. Water straw. Water filtration. There's a section in here I'll talk to you a little bit about bleach, and we'll get to that when I get to it. External power bank with the cords. There's little ones, there's big ones, there's solar cells. I have solar generators at the house that will run my refrigerator for 12 hours. And they're $7 up to $5,000. Just depends on what you want to do. Not really necessary here, but they went 62 hours without power in 2021. That's a long time to be without power. Some people said I had power about every 4 hours it would kick on. That's not enough to keep your refrigerator running. Okay? Personal financial medical records in a sealed bag. This is your insurance cards, your prescription cards, your wills, your trust, all those things they always tell you that you need to have in a sealed plastic bag. Possibly save an electronic copy on a thumb drive. If you have a cloud account, store it in your cloud account. 1 copy is not a copy. 2 copies is, 3 copies is better. So you have cloud, you have a thumb drive, and then you have the actual paper. Very important that you keep these together. When I say cordage, I'm talking about the 550 rope. It's a thick twine that it looks like shoelaces for boots. It actually holds 550 pounds of pressure to break them. You can split them up, you can catch them on fire and use them for kindling, you can tie off fishing line, there's all sorts of things you can do. It's really inexpensive, it's easy to get. Matches and or lighter. Ones that will light when they're wet is great. If you really want to use flint and steel, you can. I do when I can, but if you don't know how to use them, you just want to be able to light a fire, go for it. You need sunscreen and mosquito repellent. Okay, if you're outside at any time, you have a tornado, and you're digging through stuff, I'm guaranteeing you there's going to be bugs and flies and everything else flying around, and mosquitoes. You need a hat and scarf. Floppy hats work best, so they cover all the way around. Moist towelettes. Dudes, I think, is what you see in the store. They're big, they're thick, and you can rip them off. And they already have a cleaner on them. That works really well. Trash bags. Big industrial trash bags work good, or regular ones. Cash in a sealed bag. Soap and hand sanitizer. You need a pen and paper. You'll be surprised when you don't have it, you'll need it. Duct tape. What are the 3 things men need to fix anything? Duct tape? No, duct tape, crescent wrench, and sledgehammer, right? Okay. Extra glasses or sunglasses. Extra set of car keys and house keys. How often do you run out of the house and find out you left your car keys? Okay? These are semi-important. You can live without them, but you should have them. Long-term needs. If you think it's going to be 5 days, you need water. Okay, water sterilization tablets or bleach. Okay, I can get into all sorts of ways of water. Murky water is not what you want to drink. There's a whole section there, but if you have to do anything, you boil it, and then you take 8 drops of bleach per gallon of water. But it's at 30 minutes, that'll pretty much kill anything that's growing in there. Might not smell good, but you can drink it. Food for up to 5 days, okay? Toilet paper, paper towels, other hygiene items. Needle and thread, okay? Also important. For those of you that have not stitched yourself up, I have. It comes in really handy. Portable shelters, tarps or tents, although I use a stapler now. Cooking supplies, small camp stoves, plasticware, coffee cups, coffee or tea. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not good if I don't have my coffee in the morning. Okay? And hangry ain't the problem, it's the coffee. Extra batteries for your lights, books, playing cards. If you have a sleeping bag, extra set of clothes for current weather conditions. Water filters. And that goes up with there's some that are water straws, there's some that you can put a gallon of water in and you push it and it filters it through. Fire extinguishers and or a fire blanket. If you have to have an open flame, you should always have a fire extinguisher. Always. A 2 to 4 person tent, fast inflate. I don't know if you've ever seen the ones you pop, and you throw them up in the air, and it's done. Okay? I have 3 of them. I also have one that's a 6 person, and I pull it up, and in 1 minute, it's up and down. They're not expensive. I'm not telling you to go out and buy them. I'm just telling you those are available. Those are the items that are available. So those 3 lists are what I'm going to give you. Okay? Okay. You are your own best protection. Nobody else can help you. Okay? Don't rely upon anybody unless you absolutely have to. Okay? Take your responsibility. Okay? Volunteer service. These are all the things that you can do to volunteer that helps get you this information. If you do CERT, a lot of the stuff that we have a CERT bag, a green backpack that has a lot of the stuff in it. You get that when you go through the training. There's AmeriCorps. You can volunteer at food banks and soup kitchens. Those are all important things where you're getting out in the community and giving back. CERT, which is the community response team, which I'm one of the trainers there. The training is a 12-week. I put that in the wrong one. Okay, the training is 2 full days. It's 2 full days and 2 half days. This actually should be there. My apologies. I was trying to do this in the middle of the night. February 22nd and 23rd, and then March 6th and 7th. This is a Friday. Those are from 6 to 10, and then these are from 8 to 5. And that's basically 4 days or 3 full days of training. But that explains to you how to go in and search a building, do basic emergency stop the bleed training, which is really important, as well as cribbing, which is how do you support a structure so you can go in and pull somebody out so you don't go in and have it collapse on you. You can volunteer in search and rescue if you want to. This training, it's all free. It's all paid for by your tax dollars, but it's important. And we have kids that are 12 years old, and we have 90-year-olds in these groups. From there, you can get into a whole bunch of other things. The VIPS volunteer, I wish Joe was here. It starts, it's 12 weeks with a 13th week, which is your graduation. It's 2.5 hours on Thursday nights, and it's supposed to start mid-April to the 1st or 2nd week of June. And this will take you, and Bill or Mary, myself, and her husband all went to this. And from here, you'll understand how the police department actually works. From how do they recruit, who do they recruit, how do they train, how do they do different things, including emergencies. We have how do they handle psych patients. If you want to go out and shoot, we go out on the range one day. You get to meet the dogs that they use. You get to meet a lot of the people. The chief is there almost every time. You can do ride-alongs. There's all sorts of things you can do, but you really do understand what the police have to go through on a regular basis. And for those of you that do not come from a military or a police background, that are shy of police, this is a good way to understand what they have to go through psychologically just to get the job, let alone the training. Okay. From there, I do a lot of other things there. I help with the active shooter drills. I do stop the bleed training. I volunteer. You'll see the citizens, the COP vehicle driving through the neighborhood doing vacation watches. I do that. I volunteer at the school. I work with the student resource officer in the afternoon for security. And in the mornings I do the crosswalk. Some of you guys have probably seen me standing there on that corner over here by the school at 7 o'clock when it's 18 degrees outside. That's me. There's Aries, for those of you, who here actually has a ham license or have ever used a ham? Bill and myself. Okay. We're going to have a discussion about that because we'd like to start we would like to start a club here for amateur radios. But we need to see how many people want to do that. You have Skywarn, which are the storm spotters. February 22nd at Texas Women's is their yearly. It's about 4 hours. It's in the evening. You can actually look at Skywarn on the internet, and it will give you the dates and where to go. You will learn more about storms and how they actually happen here in Texas. And it's amazing at the information that's available to you guys if you know where to look and what it is that they're saying. You know, talking about updrafts and cloudbursts and downbursts and shifting weather patterns, and why does it always pick on us here in Dallas? And it's taught by NOAA as well as some of the weather forecasters, the meteorologists from Fox are usually there, and a lot of almost everybody there has ham radios. Okay, so you'll get in there and there's like 400 different vehicles out there. They all have antennas on them because they're all storm. These are the ones that will go out and chase storms, and there's people like me that are smart and I stay home and just listen to what they tell me. Okay? But it does tell you what to expect and where it's coming. So always watch the news in the evening, because if you notice, most of these things happen in the evening. It's because of the way that the winds shift and the heat heats up the ground surfaces, okay? When you start seeing this line of clouds, you know something's going to hit. You got cold weather, it's going to hit hot weather, you know when something's happening. Especially when it's foggy in the morning, it's going to rain that afternoon. So all the stuff you learn. Then you have your neighborhood watch, which is what we do here. Shelter in place, evacuate, disaster recovery, and finding home, health, safety guidelines, returning home, seeking disaster assistance. So I just finished training on the family reunification centers, and because we're getting ready for FIFA, CERT is. You get kids that are lost, family members that are distraught. I was at the Plano Love Field disaster. It did not go well there, but they only do it every 3 years, and they need to do it like every 6 months. Handling people that are very nervous about not knowing where their kids are at or where their family members are at, or vice versa. How we handle that psychologically, as emotionally, and all the different resources that are available. How do we get you home? And then disaster assistance. We also had that discussion too. Anytime there's a natural disaster, people think FEMA should be here right now. I want FEMA here right now. It doesn't work that way. The county of Denton has to spend $2 million before the state kicks in. The state kicks in up to $20 million. If the disaster is over $20 million, FEMA comes in. Even though the main FEMA for the central United States is up here in Denton. If you guys ever go out on 288, you'll see it. Understand that FEMA is an afterthought. Taking care of yourself now, then the county, the state, and it escalates, okay? That's why when we go out and do, we survey sites that have been damaged. We come up with what damage is there, what's the percentage of damage, and then we send that to FEMA. They go through their calculations, what it's going to cost, and that's how they determine who gets the funding and where they go. Now, if we have a hurricane coming, FEMA's already aware, but we already know that it's going to be over 20 million the damage is going to be. We understand that tornadoes are so fast, we can't react that fast as far as FEMA's concerned. But if you get a 5 coming right through the middle here, FEMA's going to be involved. But not till the county and the state pick up the slack at the beginning, okay? These trainings that I talked to you about, you're a volunteer. If you go to them, you go, I ain't doing this. That's fine. But you have some knowledge. Or if you go down there and goes, this is not for me, and you want to get up and leave, we're okay with that. You will see pictures of disasters that you don't see on the news, okay? It's pretty disturbing, okay? But if you don't understand it, it's like active shooter drills. The reason why we fire a gun off in the other room is because what you see on TV is not real. It is not real. And it's a lot different when someone's shooting at you than it is watching it on TV. Okay? So just be aware that there's things that we do, we don't want to do, but it's important. Okay, so these are the resources. Local County Emergency Management Directory. You can go online, pull that up for Denton County. DPS.Texas, that is emergency management. I will tell you that everybody that works at FEMA has to go to UNT. That is their research facility for all of the United States. The CERT program that I'm at sets the standard for every CERT program in the United States. Everybody is there because we get hit most with most of the disasters. All the research is here, all the funding is here. I was telling Nancy about Goliath. If you guys ever heard the name Goliath, we have a mobile command center that's twice the size of the police command center. It's a semi that weighs 80,000 pounds. It gets called out to hurricanes, tornadoes, but they park it there in Denton and we drive it. We drive it for the FBI, Homeland Security, FEMA, whoever needs it. We have Doppler, we have cameras, we have infrared, we can launch drones from the top of it. We do everything with this thing. It's huge. Well, Goliath is based here in Denton, okay? It's this huge gray, it's more of a motorhome. If you ever see one of the really big tour buses, adds 6 feet onto the back of that with 5 slide outs on both sides. It's really big, okay? So, but that's here because we're in the middle of it. FEMA, obviously you can go to FEMA.gov, Department of Homeland Security, and knowwhattodo.com, okay? That's where a lot of this information comes from. Okay, think, prepare, act. Those are my references. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. I'm going to turn this off. Okay. Who here knows that you can text 911?
Who does what?
If you can't make a phone call, you're losing your voice. You can't make a phone call. You go to your cell phone. You go to the address. You type in 911. Type in what you need. Hit send. We have 5 people at the 911 center that will pick that up because where you're calling from, your location goes to that center. You tell them who you are, what the problem is, and they will. It's as fast as picking up the phone and calling. You have 3 people that all they do is monitor the 911 texting. Okay, keep that in mind. Very important. Okay, people don't realize that, but that system's been in place for about 7 years. But you can text 911, and it really is helpful. If you're in a basement and you can't get a phone call out, you can usually get a text out. Okay? So I'm going to show you guys an app. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for me to do here. But there's an app called What 3 Words? Okay? It's also known as W3W, and you can get them on your phone. All right. That's my navigation. I have way too many. Okay. So, you guys can't see this. It's a red square with 3 little dashes. It's called W3W. What 3 words? Okay? And on this, it's free. It's set up. Every square, 3 feet by 3 feet, every square over the entire globe has a 3-word locator. If I come over here, I am gory.freezing.rail. I am over here, I am house.superstores.fraction. Okay? You can hit share, and you can send it directly to 911. It will tell them exactly where you're located. It also gives you the exact coordinates on the map in the entire world of where you're at. If you know where you need to go and you know where that person's at, you can hit navigate. It'll take you directly to that person. You can also save that spot, like your home. or where you were at. Say you went on a hike, or you went to a parking garage or a parking lot, and you don't know where the heck you parked your car. You hit that and go navigate, it'll take you right to your car. Okay? This has been around for about 6 or 7 years as well. The pararescue guys with the Air Force, they're the ones that perfected this and use it. So when the combat rescue guys have to go out and pick somebody up, or the Coast Guard needs to go out and pick somebody up, they use this to find that person. Okay? That's just a suggestion. I wanted to throw those in because Bill didn't know about that and thought it would be good for me to show you guys that. Pipes, plants, people, pets. How many people heard that over the last couple of days? 4 Ps? Okay. Pipes. Unhook your water hoses. We actually had a pipe break on our house last year, and it was about $4,000 by the time we were finished. Plants, pull them inside. People, stay warm, stay out from outside. Pets, bring your pets inside. They gotta go out and go to the bathroom, go out, get back in. Don't let them go running around outside. All right, this is the fun part. Any questions? Did I cover everything? Yes.
What is a TSA decoy?
Okay, so what I do is I work with the bomb sniffing dogs because TSA handles bombs. The drugs are done by CBP, and I don't get involved with that because that's actually done on the other side. It's done down in the baggage holes and stuff. So every 45 days, you can't do it except for every 45 days, and the reason why is the dogs remember who you are. These dogs are really smart. These are not attack dogs, okay? That's not what they are. Dogs that do this type of track only are prepared to do what they do. These bomb sniffing dogs sniff out explosives. They don't do drugs, they don't attack people, they don't find missing children. That's not what they do. They sniff for accelerants. So depending on whether or not I'm a blank decoy or a regular decoy, and I'm always a regular decoy, and I do it in the unsecured section as well as the secured section. So on the other side of the gates. They strap me down with some sort of, and it can be anything from PTEN, blasting caps, it can be detonator cord, it could be anything that could be used as an explosive. They have them in these bundles and they strap them either to my leg, around my waist, on my chest, in my backpack, in a tote bag, depending on what they want to do. I also go through the certification. So these are dogs that just have to keep up their training, but they also have, all these dogs have a Lackland Air Force Base. And when we just had 8 of them come in and 4 of them had to go back for training because they missed me completely. And I was carrying a lot, like 3 pounds on me. So you go through, if you're on the unsecured side, you go through with the regular people through the walk, and they have an area that's cordoned off that have blowers. They blow the air, and the dogs walk back and forth, and you walk through, and they go back. If they hit on you, if it's a German short hair, they're going to howl. They're going to freak everybody out, and then you'll see a ball rolling by you, and that dog will take off after the ball. Get hit on you. If it's a black lab, they normally don't make any noise. You usually get tripped because it's going after the ball. Because the moment they sit, they throw the ball, and that's their treat. That's how they train. Okay? Attack dogs are different. That's all military. Even our dogs here, our trackers, the ones here at Little Elm, are trackers and they're drug dogs. Okay? They don't do bombs. They don't attack. And they're lovable dogs. You go up there, let you pat them. They're great. We have 4 of them. I think they have a 5th one coming in. One dog is heavier than their handle. And they're all Malinois. Okay? And they're really good at tracking. These dogs can track on concrete. And most dogs can't do concrete because they have to pick up the scent off the grass and stuff. We've actually, when you go through the VIPS training, you'll actually see them in the parking lot track people on concrete. Okay? It's amazing. The dogs are fantastic. They're much smarter than humans are most of the time. And they love people. But that's how that is. And if you're interested in doing that, talk to me and I'll put you the name of the person. You can put your name in. There's a form you fill out because they have to do a background check because obviously they don't want you just anybody walking around with explosives in the airport. They do a background check. Actually, everything I do requires background check. Fire department requires one for Little Elm.
I'm scared for
FEMA requires one. Homeland Security needs one. Police department needs one. Skywarn doesn't, but the ham radio I don't, but I have to have a license for that. Denton County Community Emergency Response Team require you to have security clearance, okay? And it's a standard check. They just want to make sure you don't have any wants and wants out. And you're not a pedophile or a sex offender or any of these other things that they look for. It's not a big deal, okay? You fill out a one-page form. Then when they have a calendar come up, you pick the days and the times that are available, and then they send you out and it's not a video, it's a PowerPoint, to explain to you what you're actually going to be doing. And then you have a waiver. You have two waivers. You have a non-disclosure agreement. Anything that you've seen in there, you're not allowed to discuss. The stuff I discussed is open source. Anything that you see on the inside, you can't discuss. And they want to make sure you understand that it could burn your skin, could catch on fire, you could blow up. It doesn't happen. They have to tell you that. Believe it or not, the majority of the people who want to do it see that and go, nope, not going to do it. They've never had anything like that. PTEN, they put them in a gauze wrap when they put it on your leg. If for some reason it leaks, it'll burn your skin. It's not very much. It's like getting bleach on your skin. It's not, you just rinse it off and you're good. And that's how that works. Great bunch of people though. My wife has a nephew that works for TSA in Ontario, and he's been there for a long time, loves the job. Okay. They don't get the credit for the amount of crap that they do. Actually, the police don't get paid enough either.
You didn't mention in your go bag a weapon.
Okay. I'm very quiet when it comes to weapons. Believe it or not, I think everybody in here, or the majority of us, owns some sort of firearm. If you have a permit, I always recommend you get the permit, get the training. And if you don't, find somebody who can give you the training. And always make sure you have way more ammunition than you really need for that firearm. Okay? And 1 is okay, but 2 is better. And so on and so forth.
Alright, something I learned in Kentucky with the tornadoes that went through there, right next to my property.
Okay.
You go to your safe room, put shoes on.
Yes. Yes.
Because if, God forbid, your house gets smashed, glass is gonna be all over the place. You need shoes.
Right. Right. Long sleeve shirts, good. Because you start walking through stuff, you don't know what's going to hit you. That's what the first aid kits are for. And that's very good. I mean, I didn't cover it, but normally, I don't know how many of you guys actually get up and put slippers on or shoes on when you get out of bed. Not everybody does that. I don't. I should. But I do keep, when I get called out on a cert in the middle of the night, I do have all my clothes ready, and I have special boots that can go out there. They're insulated and waterproof. And these aren't those big rubber boots. These are actually ones I work with at the police department. But, and I have 4 or 5 different types of coats in my car. I have different helmets. I have some that are just green. I have some that are yellow that have face shields along with a built-in light. There's a lot of things I have in my vehicle that most people would never have. It depends on how much you want to do. It's also thinking about what might or might not happen where you're living at, right? And luckily, the majority of us know who everybody is. They see me. Everybody knows my Jeep. I drive. You'll see me drive through the neighborhood because I see things that don't look right. And I usually come through here after I work at the school. I just kind of make a drive around to see. I have found a couple of cars that don't belong in our neighborhood when I'm off. If you see cars that are not normal, I'm not talking about a housekeeper or a construction guy, but if you see somebody that's just sitting in their car and it's idling, and they're young, and you've never seen them before, see something, say something. It's important. Okay. Any other questions? Did I scare everybody? Yes.
So, number 1, how safe really is like a pantry in a tornado? And number 2,
Is it in the middle of the house?
Sort of.
Cora,
Are there any outside walls?
no.
Okay. And your question is, how safe is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Probably about the safest place,
can it
although
collapse in on you?
not as much as a sidewall would,
Okay.
or staying away from glass, because those structures in the middle, they build from there out. And it's basically what's supporting the whole structure of the house. Now, the other thing too is if you have a second bathroom in the middle of the house, and you have a bathtub, even though they might not be cast iron, lay in that bathtub, I can guarantee you, you're about as safe as you're gonna get. Guys that fly A-10 Warthogs, they fly in a bathtub, cast iron bathtub, and rockets don't go through there.
Yeah, well, ours aren't cast iron.
Well, they're not, but it does have some structure to it,
Oh.
okay? Lay down in them, throw some pillows over the top of you, make sure you have some way of signaling, whether it be a whistle or a phone or something, or both.
And the second one was you did mention helmets, but isn't that a good idea to have?
It's always a good idea.
In your pantry?
We keep ours in my pantry.
Okay.
I have two of them. I actually have a skateboarding helmet. It's about that thick, it's rigid, and it's fitted to me. That's better than anything I've ever had.
Oh.
You can get hit with a baseball bat and wouldn't feel it. The plastic helmets, yeah, I mean, they keep things from falling on top of you. Main thing is you don't want to ingest anything. You don't want to pick up anything and tear your fingers off. You don't want to touch anything hot. That's why gloves are very important. Hats are good.
So if a tornado's coming, are you supposed to go out and turn your gas off every single time?
I wouldn't do anything. I'd get in there because you don't have time to start turning things off. I'm just saying, once it's done, go out there and turn everything off. You start seeing water squirting up out of your sinks or out on the side of your house, go in there and turn the water off. That time I would turn off your gas too, because if the water lines are broken, your gas lines are probably going to be broken too. If you smell gas, shut it down. And that shuts off all gas to your house. You don't want to have your house collapse and then have it catch on fire and blow up.
Well, right, that's what I was thinking, well, preemptively, you'd have one.
No, you don't need to. I would wait till after the storm. Believe me, it won't give you any extra. It will just cause you a lot of heartache and everything after the fact, because you have to have somebody come out and turn on your gas. And if things are down, you might not have any gas at all. Does that answer your question? Any other questions? Yes?
What do you do in your spare time?
I read news, a lot of it. I read books, I watch TV.
Oh, does he have a
You have spare time?
I try not to have any spare time, because I get in trouble. I'm used to traveling 18 states over the last 41 years, and if I'm not moving, I'm dead. So, and I don't get I'm usually a fighter with or without.
Thank you for what you do.
Fine, you guys need to understand, this is all for you guys, okay? I wanted to say one other thing. Joe was hoping to be here, but he sent me, Joe Sanchez, for those of you that don't know who Officer Joe is. Okay, Union Park 2025 data. They had 4,357 total call services. That's all of Union Park, okay? 46% officer initiated. That means 46% of those were officers pulling somebody over and checking up on people. 1,212 traffic stops, but only 155 citations. So Joe doesn't want me to tell you this, so I'm going to tell you something. This is how good our police department is. Our police chief, Rodney, is from Texas Rangers. He's retired Texas Ranger. Top 3 people in our police department are all from Texas Rangers. A lot of experience. They are police officers first. They're not administrators. These guys actually go out on calls. They actually ride with the other ones. On the way home, Rodney might pull over 7 or 8 people. Speed. Okay. 82,000 people travel 380. It might be more now that it's over. Every day. El Dorado, 64,000. The reason why is because they come over on the bridge from 35 to going out to Frisco and McKinney, and they drive right through that town. Do you know how much the police department makes for writing a speeding ticket? $2. Okay? We are not spending time pulling people over and writing tickets. We will pull people over. We want you to slow down. They pull over 200 cars a week. They write 2 tickets. Okay? you guys have to understand, safety is important. People drive through here, they're not making money, there's no quotas, they believe there's no quotas. He would rather have you not pull people over, sometimes you have to, there's just not safe, okay? If you guys drive out by Union Park Elementary, especially in the morning during school, lights work or they might not work. If you see me standing there on the corner, do 20 miles an hour and stop. We get people that cut through here and they fly through every single stop sign. The reason why I'm there is because kids have almost been hit there at least twice a week. I'm there to keep that from happening. I do wear a body camera. It's worked 3 times to catch people that decided they want to get out and fight me because they have every right to run these lights. It didn't work out very well for them, especially with one of them lives right down the corner. Please be respectful of the speed limits. We have a lot of kids, and these kids go up 5th grades, and we have very, very small kids. For some of you that had opening day, thank you very much for volunteering on. Who else here came here opening day of school this year? Okay, please, that's wonderful. Everybody coming there, greeting the kids. You've seen how small they are. They're pre-K up to 5th grade before they go on to middle school. The kids know me. They always give me high fives, low fives, whatever. They all know who I am. They always say good morning, very respectful. Be respectful to them and their safety, because we don't want any kids hit. Okay? Anything else? Yes?
Please share with them if they run the stop sign and they get caught, what's the fine?
Oh, in a school zone, if I am standing there, $780. It's $280, they knock on $500 if I, as a crossing guard, is standing there. If you blow through there and they pull you over, in the mornings, you'll see the SRO sitting there facing this direction, because most of the problems are going that direction. All I do is I point at the car, I point at him, and he goes after him. Okay? So please, just be safe. It's important. I don't need any kids killed on my watch. Okay. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Like to see inside the.
He has more of mine. Mine had a lot of crap in it. Okay? Because